What's up guys, John back with another video, and today I am going to a Korean wedding during coronavirus. So I'm going to share with you my experience with going to a Korean wedding hall during the pandemic. So this is my friend's sister's wedding and he invited me. Of course I had to go, being one of his good friends. So I'm very curious to see what the experience is like. Also, this is my first wedding that I've ever been to during the pandemic, so I'm very curious to see how the rules and regulations are in Korea about social distancing and about the number of people in one area. I've heard that these are all rumors. I've heard that some places allow 50 people in a single wedding hall at a time, so from what I know, we're going to be watching a screen on a different floor than the ceremony itself. So that's going to be a little bit weird, and everyone's going to be wearing masks. So I'm not sure how exactly that's going to work with taking pictures, or how people are going to recognize each other. But I'm very curious to find out. Let's go check it out.
12 seconds later.
Alright guys, we're here at the wedding hall. It is raining today, as you guys can see, so that's why I wore my regular dress shoes instead of my sneakers, expensive. So usually Korean people do it at a wedding hall, so a wedding location, not at a church too often, so we like to go fancy, do it big. So let's go inside, let's go check it out. Alright guys, I'm right inside the reception area, and the first thing that Korean people do is they give money. So it's like $50 to go, I guess like an entrance fee. So you pay $50 and then you pay the money to kind of grant them like good luck, that kind of thing. So you sign your name, you can give up more money if you want, but this is like the basic stuff. So they usually have pictures for the bride and groom, and then they also have like an area where they take pictures with the wedding pictures. So basically there's many things going on. There's a lot of people walking around and greeting you, but it's sometimes pretty casual. It depends on how well you know the person. So if you don't really know them that well, then you don't really have to dress up. But if you're pretty close with the person, then you're gonna have to dress up, of course. But it's very well organized today. Let me show you. Let me show you what's going on in the reception area. So there's some flowers here, and also the pink stuff is pretty much kind of like a welcoming thing. So they do that for restaurants, businesses, that kind of thing. So it looks really nice. I like the layout. It's nice, very clean. So there's a lot of people here. All right, so we're climbing up the stairs because we were on the second floor. Now we have to go to the 7th floor, and all the elevators are taken and going really slow. So this is quite an ordeal. So we're currently waiting in line to get into the lunch area. So it's around 3 p.m. So there's a huge line. And interesting thing is we're going to be watching the ceremony while eating. So it's kind of like a sporting event. So that'll be interesting. So you get these tickets here, and then you show it to them. You can go inside. They have some private rooms in here too. I've seen like right behind me. They have some people eating lunch in there. So this is quite different than what I'm used to. You usually eat after the ceremony, but I guess this is special circumstance. So we'll see what it has. We'll also see what kind of food they got. So. 세 분? 두 분의 같이 합석 좀 부탁드릴게요. 네. 안으로 일단 들어가서 같이 합석 좀 부탁드릴게요. Oh, so they separated the areas. So they have the glass in between. There was looks like there's another, getting married. So we're gonna sit down. I think it's a set menu.
조금만 기다리세요. 그래서 오늘의 신랑 신부가 서로에 대한 사랑을 맹세하는 혼인서약 수사가 있습니다.
So the workers are doing a good job cleaning everything, and everyone gets a new placemat after they eat. 감사합니다. So there's a previous party here. So they're reading their vows together. Alright, so they gave us some wine while we're in here. So cheers. I haven't seen anyone. Well, actually, everyone's taking off their masks to eat. So I'm a little bit sketchy because we're in the room. There's no windows here, and everyone's kind of like talking while they're eating. So I'm just kind of confused how this glass here next to me is not going to protect me from corona. So I don't know. I think this is a set menu, looks like. Usually it's a buffet. You go and stand up and get more food, but I guess this is kind of cool too. So they're kind of doing their vows right now, and we're just kind of watching while eating. So you can see behind me right there. The smoked salmon, really good. It's delicious. A little bit bland, but it's just an appetizer, so it's not bad. Yeah, something very interesting is that Korean people love to perform during a wedding. So they'll have like concerts during the wedding, especially like at mine. So my wife invited her kids from school to perform for us. So some people do like a dance or they sing. So right now they're singing. So it's like a mini concert. Alright, so another interesting thing is since Korean people love to sing, sometimes the groom will sing like a concert or a song, not a concert, to the bride. So that's what's going on right now, which is kind of weird, but that's their culture. They like to, perform. That's like their time to shine, I guess. So that's why. But very interesting. People really get into it. They clap and they really cheer, that kind of thing. But it's kind of weird because we're sitting in a different floor, so we can't really see what's going on in the room itself. So an interesting thing is the Korean parents will sit from both sides, will sit on each side, and the bride and groom have to kind of welcome or thank them for having their kid, I guess. So they go to each set of parents and they kind of bow to them as a sign of respect. So that's what's going on right now, which I find is very different than how we do it in the US. And they kind of hug each other. It's a little bit awkward because Korean people don't really touch each other too much. So he just poured me some mushroom soup. Let's try some of the soup. Hope it's hot. Oh, it's hot. I don't know if you guys can see. Let me see if I can bring it up. It has some pepper in it. looks good. A little bit salty. It's like a mushroom cream soup. Very good. I'm surprised. Usually the food at the hotels are pretty good. They have a variety usually with the buffets. They serve like Chinese, Western, Korean, all that mixed up, mixed together. But this is really good. This is kind of like hotel style. And I like how they have a course so that way you don't have to choose. They kind of do it for you. So you just sit there. So I appreciate that. So the length of the wedding usually varies. Sometimes it's like 30 minutes. For mine, it was like an hour, and Korean people already think that's way too long. So I think the sweet spot's about 30 minutes to 40 minutes or so, and then they spend the rest of the time taking pictures and saying thank you to all the guests. So this is dok or rice cake. This is for very special occasions in Korea. They do it usually during holidays and I guess weddings too, birthdays for sure. I'm gonna try some of this. So this one looks like it has some nuts in there and some sort of seasoning. It's chewy, it's cold, sometimes it's warm. Not that sweet. It's usually a dessert. Not bad. The next one is red bean inside, filling, and I think powdered sugar. This one is good. I like how it's not that sweet. So in between each of the courses where I just take off my mask just to eat, I don't know if it really matters anymore since there's so many people here and it's really loud. So I'm thinking like, you know, I'm trying to do my best to protect myself and others from Corona, but it's really hard. The room you can see behind me is not that big, and there's no windows, and there's only one doorway going outside. So that's the only thing I'm kind of sketched about. But you know, I guess they have hand sanitizer everywhere, and they're doing their best to control the situation. Alright, so the main course came and we got steak. So let's take a look real quick. I wanted to show you guys. Look at that. That looks really good. So basically the $50 that we pay is kind of like an entrance fee you're paying for the meal itself. They got some mashed potatoes, they got some asparagus, some tomato. So we're gonna try it. I'm gonna try the steak first. It looks good. Let's see if it's medium. Okay. Good, not too salty. I like it. They have some mushroom kind of tomato. Very small portions. I wonder if they're gonna have more. Some mashed potatoes. Oh, the steak is really soft. I'm surprised. So, medium. I'm gonna try some of this this kind of mustard on here. It's good. It's good. You know, meat in Korea is very expensive. So a meal like this will gonna cost way over $50. This is probably gonna be like 80. Alright, so the next thing we have is goksu, which is Korean rice noodles. Usually cold, but this one's warm. And the significance of this rice noodle dish is living a long life. So when someone asks you, when can I eat this dish, goksu, it means that when are you going to get married, or when are you going to treat me to this dish. So it's just a rice noodle, very clean. It has kimchi on it with some just regular soup paste. It's really like Korean comfort food. The kimchi gives it flavor, so it's very flavorless by itself. So that's why you need the soup and the kimchi to kind of give it more flavor. Dessert. So we got some tiramisu. We got tiramisu. We got some strawberries here. That looks good. That looks really good. I'm gonna try some of this. We got the dessert for. Good. Good balance between sweet, not too sweet. Chocolate. We got some whipped cream on the strawberries here.
그러니까 그래서 내가 계속 약간 눈치를 챘나 봐. 이러는 거 위에서도 워라벨이 사가 됐을 때
Strawberries are good in Korea. The US ones are way too big. They're the normal size in Korea, so that's why it tastes better. I feel like everything in the US, the fruits is flavorless. So when you actually get to taste what the fruit is supposed to taste like, it's really good. Overall, this experience is good. The food is good for sure. So that's it. We just came back from the wedding. It took a total of almost 2 hours at the hotel itself, and it took a round trip total about 4 hours. So it was a little bit different than I anticipated. I felt that they were doing their best in terms of controlling the coronavirus, but you know, I think they did their best. It wasn't the greatest experience, I feel, because we weren't there in the wedding hall with the main event. There were quite a few people in the main area. I felt like there were at least 100 people down there, and then another 20 people upstairs and where we were, and I'm sure there were different floors to separate people. But I feel like you saw the situation, right? There were like 20 people in one room. They did kind of separate groups of people in different areas, but in terms of controlling the virus, people were taking off their masks, still talking. But the majority of the people keep their masks on when they were not eating, so that was good. So let me know down in the comments below what you guys think about this situation. Has Korea done a good job, or maybe that specific wedding hall, did they do a good job in controlling the virus from spreading? Maybe it was a good idea not to do a buffet, to do a 3-course meal or a course meal. I think was a safe way of doing it to control the movement of people from spreading as well. I saw the staff members cleaning their hands, so that was good. Let me know down in the comments below whether you've been to a wedding during the pandemic, and tell me about your experiences. We want to hear from you. We want to share our experiences and talk about, what are the commonalities from different countries, as well as let me know what you guys thought about that. This is kind of like a Koreanized wedding. Let me know if it is what you guys thought it would be. What are some differences from maybe where you're from? And let's start a dialogue. So I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.